The Webster Dictionary defines nothing as not anything, or no single thing. The concept of nothing has existed since the Babylonians and was first quantified by Arabic mathematicians Al-Khwarizmi and Al-Kindi. It's a simple concept lacking of substance. Not many times does nothing achieve anything, except in one case. Nothing was enough for one unheralded quarterback to do the unthinkable. It feels appropriate to begin our story on December 2nd, 2006. UCLA pulls off one of the greatest upsets of all time, knocking off number 2 USC 13-9 and eliminating them from the national championship game. However, this game is known for a seemingly inconsequential play in the fourth quarter. With 6 minutes left in the game and UCLA up 13-9, UCLA quarterback Patrick Cowan rolled out on third down and attempted to scramble for a first down when Ray Maualuga unleashed one of the most violent hits in college football history. Cowan would finish the game, but the hit foreshadowed UCLA's 2007 season. So, let's begin. Ben Olsen started the first 6 games for the Bruins before getting hurt against Notre Dame. McLeod Bethel-Thompson finished the Notre Dame game, but Patrick Cowan started the next 2 games against Cal and Washington State. Cowan would then get hurt against Arizona, introducing the hero of our story. Osaar Rasshan was never meant to play quarterback for UCLA. Rasshan was a quarterback in his first 2 years with UCLA in 2005 and 2006, but all he had to show for it was a compliment from the UCLA website in his bio saying he did a quote-unquote fine job running the scout team. So Rasshan did what anybody trying to find any playing time on a crowded depth chart would do. He changed positions. Rasshan moved to receiver before the 2007 season and then back to quarterback the week of the Notre Dame game. Now, against Arizona, Osaar Rasshan, against all odds, saw the field at quarterback for UCLA. Rasshan performed as well as any quarterback turned receiver turned back to quarterback would have. In relief for the injured Cowan, he completed 3 of his 10 passes for 78 yards and gave the Bruins an element they lacked with strong running ability. Rasshan carried the ball 8 times for 57 yards, which was good for second most on the team that game. Unfortunately, his efforts were not enough as UCLA lost to Arizona 34-27, but the Osaar Rasshan era had begun. The following week, Rasshan started against Arizona State, becoming the first African American to start for UCLA at quarterback since Bernard Quarles in 1979. Osaar performed admirably. He threw an interception, but he completed 14 of his 27 passes for 181 yards, which is good considering the circumstances of him being a guy who had never played a college game and was playing receiver at the start of the season. He also ran for 41 yards on 13 carries. UCLA led 13-7 at halftime, but ultimately lost 24-20. At this point, UCLA stood at a crossroads. At 5-5, they needed a win to become bowl eligible. Yet, this is 2007, the craziest college football season ever. Somehow, the Bruins were still in play for a share of the Pac-10 title and their first Rose Bowl since 1998. And it all hinged on our former receiver turned quarterback, Osaar Rasshan. It only got harder from there, unfortunately. UCLA hosted the number 9 ranked team in the country, the Oregon Ducks, with bowl eligibility and Rose Bowl hopes on the line. Oregon was going through its own quarterback problems when Heisman frontrunner Dennis Dixon went down with a season-ending injury the week before against Arizona. So, there was some hope. But could Osaar Rasshan beat the odds? There is some broadcast footage of 2007 UCLA-Oregon thanks to the user SW561's recording of that week's episode of College Football Final. But it is very limited, given the game was broadcast regionally on ABC. Regional ABC broadcasts. Remember those days? Anyways, please excuse me if I reuse clips or get creative in my storytelling here. By the way, if you want trips down memory lane as a sports fan, SW561 has highlight videos dating back to the early 1990s, so please subscribe to him. I'll leave a link in the description and a card in the upper right-hand corner. So, ABC regional broadcast, top 10 opponent coming to the Rose Bowl. Rose Bowl hopes on the line. All eyes are on you, Osaar Rasshan. Let's see what you got. Osaar Rasshan had his worst game of the year. Yet, somehow, Oregon was worse. In the first quarter, Oregon fumbled the ball away to UCLA at their own 32. UCLA capitalized by going backwards 4 yards, including Rasshan taking back-to-back sacks to turn a 2nd and 8 into a 4th and 14. Luckily, 54 yards was not too far for future NFL kicker Kai Forbath to convert and give UCLA a 3-0 lead. In the second quarter, Oregon once again gifted UCLA the ball with an interception at the Oregon 29. UCLA did more this time with a 7-play, 15-yard march. Our hero had his best play of the day on a key 3rd and 4, running 11 yards to the Oregon 12. Forbath converted another field goal, this time from 31 yards out, to give the Bruins a 6-0 lead with 6:53 left in the half. Neither team scored for the rest of the half. Osaar Rasshan was horrible. He completed none of his 7 passes and threw an interception. His usual elusiveness was gone. He netted -6 yards on 5 carries, taking 4 sacks. His 11-yard scamper was his lone non-sack rush attempt of the game. Head coach Karl Dorrell had seen enough. He benched Rasshan at halftime and Ben Olsen took over. But Rasshan doing virtually nothing was enough for UCLA. In the second half, the Bruins tacked on 10 more points. But it was not due to the quarterback change, nor did they have to score any points at all. Olsen completed just 4 of his 10 passes for 64 yards, but the defense carried him like they did Rasshan. Oregon completed just 11 of their 39 passes and mustered 148 yards of total offense. UCLA picked off 3 passes and held the Ducks scoreless. The lone touchdown of the day came in the fourth quarter thanks to a 31-yard drive after Oregon had to punt from its own 3-yard line. Craig Shepard scored on a 20-yard run to seal a 16-0 domination. Osaar Rasshan did nothing. Yet, it was enough to beat the number 9 team in the country. -6 yards of total offense from our hero was enough to keep UCLA in the Rose Bowl race. Rasshan's defense played so well that all Rasshan had to do was not mess up too badly, even though he threw an interception. The Bruins just had to beat mighty USC to win a share of the Pac-10 and go to the Rose Bowl. They didn't. Rasshan sat on the sidelines as USC beat UCLA 24-7, but the Bruins still earned a spot in the Las Vegas Bowl against BYU with a 6-6 record. Head coach Karl Dorrell decided to give the Osaar Rasshan experiment one more try, George Michael style. I'm sorry, I just had to. Rasshan started the bowl game and became the first African-American quarterback to start a bowl game for UCLA and showed flashes of excitement with 4 carries for 17 yards. He only threw 1 pass, which fell incomplete. He led UCLA to a field goal, but McLeod Bethel-Thompson replaced Rasshan in the second quarter and finished the rest of the game. UCLA lost a heartbreaker 17-16 after BYU blocked an extra point and a game-winning field goal attempt by Kai Forbath. And then, Osaar Rasshan just disappeared. Not only did he not throw another pass, he didn't play another game. UCLA fired Karl Dorrell after the 2007 season, but Rasshan stayed, with this being the era before the transfer portal, and he just did not play again. He was injured most of 2008 and then medically retired in 2009. Rasshan finished his career completing 17 of 45 passes for 259 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He ran the ball 30 times for 109 yards. I know this is a jarring way to end the story, but don't worry. From everything I've been able to find, Rasshan is living a good life.
He had a tryout for the Iowa Barnstormers that I found on YouTube, but it seems he did not make the cut for the Arena Football League team. His story is one of the most intriguing, obscure quirks of the 2007 season, if not in college football history. One would think it would take a Herculean act for a wide receiver turned fourth-string quarterback to beat a top 10 team and stay in the hunt for college football's grandest tradition, the Rose Bowl. But it took nothing. Just being there was an accomplishment in itself for Osaar Rasshan. If you told a UCLA fan, or even Rasshan himself before the 2007 season, that he would not only start a game at quarterback, but beat a top 10 team, I'm not sure they would believe you. For Osaar Rasshan, doing nothing was the culmination of a storybook journey. Like and subscribe for more video documentaries like this and podcasts. God bless everyone.